The throne room crackles with dark energy. Emperor Palpatine towers over Luke Skywalker. Blue lightning tears through the young Jedi's body. Luke screams. His father watches. But this time, something shifts. Vader doesn't hesitate. He doesn't wrestle with his conscience. He sees opportunity. In one swift motion, Darth Vader ignites his lightsaber and drives it through Palpatine's back. The Emperor's eyes widen in shock. The lightning stops. For a split second, the galaxy's most powerful Sith Lord realizes he has been betrayed. Not by sentiment, by raw ambition. Palpatine collapses to the floor, his twisted body smoking. Dead, Luke struggles to his feet, gasping for breath. He stares at his father, hope flickering in his eyes. "Father, you saved me." But Vader's response is cold. "No, I saved myself." Before Luke can react, Vader force pushes him across the room. Luke slams into the wall and crumples, unconscious but alive. Vader could kill him, but he doesn't. Not yet. The Dark Lord turns toward the viewport. Outside, the rebel fleet is tearing apart the Imperial forces. The Death Star shudders. Explosions echo through the corridors. Time is running out. Vader strides to the communication console and activates the Imperial frequency. His voice booms across every Star Destroyer, every TIE fighter, every trooper still fighting. "This is Lord Vader. The Emperor is dead. I now command the Empire. All forces withdraw immediately. Regroup at Coruscant. Anyone who disobeys will be executed." Silence. Then, slowly, the Star Destroyers begin to pull back. Officers are confused, terrified even, but they obey. Vader is the only authority left. Down on Endor, the Rebel strike team celebrates as the shield generator explodes. They don't yet know what has happened above. They think they've won, but they haven't. Aboard the crumbling Death Star, Vader drags Luke's unconscious body onto his personal shuttle. He could leave him. He could let the station consume him. But Vader has other plans. Luke is powerful. Luke could be useful. As the shuttle blasts away, the Death Star erupts in a blinding explosion behind them. The rebellion cheers. The Empire mourns. But neither side understands the truth. The Emperor is dead, and something far more dangerous has taken his place. Coruscant, the heart of the Empire. News of Palpatine's death spreads like wildfire. Panic grips the capital. Imperial officers whisper in dark hallways. Moffs plot in secret chambers. Everyone senses the same thing, opportunity. But Vader moves faster than any of them. Within hours of his arrival, he strides into the Imperial palace. No ceremony, no announcement, just the heavy, mechanical breathing of a man who has killed emperors. He enters the throne room, empty now without Palpatine's presence. Vader doesn't sit. Not yet. First, there's work to do. The Imperial High Command is summoned. Dozens of admirals, generals, and Moffs gather in the war room. They expect debate, negotiation, a chance to carve up the Empire for themselves. They are wrong. Vader enters the chamber, and the room falls silent. Admiral Pyatt stands stiffly at attention. Others shift nervously. Some glance at each other, wondering who will speak first. Grand Moff Tanner clears his throat. "Lord Vader, the Empire requires stable leadership. Perhaps a council of he doesn't finish." Vader raises one hand. Tanner gasps, clutching at his throat. His feet lift off the ground. The other officers freeze, terror flooding their faces. "The Empire," Vader says slowly, "requires one leader. Me." Tanner's neck snaps. His body drops to the floor. No one else speaks. Vader's gaze sweeps the room. Anyone else wish to debate the chain of command? Silence. Absolute silence. Good. Vader turns to Pyatt. "Admiral, you are now Grand Admiral. You will coordinate all fleets. Failure will not be tolerated." Pyatt nods sharply. "Yes, my lord." Vader continues. "All Imperial forces will return to their posts. All governors will maintain order in their sectors. Any system that declares independence will be glassed from orbit. Any officer who defects will be hunted down and executed. Is this understood? A chorus of voices responds. Yes, my lord. But not everyone falls in line. In the Outer Rim, Imperial warlords begin to fracture away. On Quat, shipyard overseers slow production, testing Vader's reach. On Naboo, whispers of rebellion stir once more. Vader doesn't negotiate. He doesn't send diplomats. He sends Star Destroyers. Within weeks, the message is clear. Palpatine ruled through fear and manipulation. Vader rules through fear and violence. And in a hidden cell deep within the Imperial Palace, Luke Skywalker awakens in chains. Luke's eyes snap open. Pain shoots through his body. His wrists are locked in binders, glowing with energy fields. The room is cold, steel Imperial. He tries to reach for the Force, but something blocks it. Inhibitors. A door hisses open. Heavy footsteps echo. Fodder. The Dark Lord stands over him, towering, silent. Luke glares up at him, defiant even now. You could have let me die, Luke says, his voice hoarse. Yes, Vader replies, but you are too valuable. Luke's jaw tightens. I'll never join you. You don't understand what I'm offering. Vader's tone is cold, measured. Palpatine held us both as slaves. He used me. He would have used you. But now, we can rule together. Father and son. No more lies. No more manipulation. Just power. Luke shakes his head. That's not the Jedi way. The Jedi are extinct. Vader's voice hardens. Because they were weak. I am offering you strength. Purpose. A galaxy where we decide its fate. You're offering me darkness. Vader steps closer. I'm offering you survival. For days, Vader visits. Sometimes he speaks. Sometimes he simply watches. Luke resists, clinging to the light, to his training, to the memory of Obi-Wan and Yoda. But doubt creeps in. What if Vader is right? No. Luke refuses to believe it. One night, the power flickers. An explosion rocks the palace. Somewhere deep in Coruscant's underworld, a rebel sabotage cell strikes a generator hub. The inhibitors on Luke's binders short out. He doesn't waste the opportunity. Using the Force, Luke tears the binders apart. Alarms scream. Stormtroopers rush toward his cell. Luke rips a blaster from one trooper's hands and fights his way through the corridor. He's weak, battered, but desperation fuels him. He reaches a hangar. A small Imperial shuttle sits unguarded. Luke leaps inside, fires up the engines, and blasts through the hangar doors. TIE fighters scramble after him. Vader senses it immediately. He sprints toward the hangar, rage boiling through the Force. But Luke is already gone. The shuttle punches into hyperspace just as Vader arrives. The Dark Lord stands alone in the hangar, fists clenched, breathing heavy. Find him, Vader orders through the comlink. 10 million credits. I want every hunter, every agent, every informant searching for Luke Skywalker. Bring him to me alive. Across the galaxy, the word spreads. Luke Skywalker is now the most wanted man alive, and the entire galaxy is hunting him. 6 months pass. The galaxy transforms. Under Palpatine, the Empire was oppressive, controlling, manipulative. Under Vader, it is merciless. Star Destroyers patrol every major hyperspace lane. Stormtroopers march through cities with shoot-on-sight orders for suspected rebels. Entire planets are blockaded for the slightest hint of dissent. Vader doesn't waste time on politics or propaganda. He doesn't need hearts and minds. He only needs obedience. On Ryloth, a resistance cell attempts to sabotage an Imperial garrison. Vader arrives personally. Within an hour, the cell is wiped out. Within a day, the entire city is leveled as a warning. Survivors are forced to watch. On Corellia, shipyard workers strike, demanding better conditions. Vader orders orbital bombardment on the industrial district. Tuzansti, the strikes end. On Mon Cala, the remaining Mon Calamari fleet considers joining the rebellion. Vader sends a single message. Surrender your ships, or your oceans will boil. They surrender. Fear spreads faster than hope ever did. But Vader doesn't rule alone. He knows the dark side is vast, and he cannot be everywhere. So he does what Palpatine never fully accomplished. He rebuilds the Inquisitorius. Dark side adepts, fallen Jedi, Force-sensitive agents. Vader gathers them all. He doesn't train them as Sith. He trains them as hunters. Their sole purpose: find Force-sensitives before the rebellion does and eliminate any threat to Vader's rule. The Inquisitors become Vader's shadow. They move through the Outer Rim, the Mid-Rim, even the core worlds. Anywhere a Jedi might hide, they strike. Former Padawans, Force-sensitive children, anyone who could become a symbol of hope. They are extinguished. Vader also keeps the Imperial Senate intact, but only as a puppet. Senators who cooperate are rewarded. Those who resist disappear. No traídas, no debates, just silence. Mon Mothma watches from hiding, her heart sinking. The galaxy she fought to free is slipping further into darkness. Meanwhile, Vader meditates in his fortress on Mustafar. The dark side flows through him, stronger than ever. Without Palpatine's influence, without his manipulation, Vader is free to embrace the darkness fully. But one thought haunts him. Luke, his son, is still out there. Still a threat. Still a possibility. Vader opens his eyes, staring into the molten rivers below. "You cannot hide forever, my son," he whispers. Across the galaxy, in a forgotten moon on the edge of known space, Luke Skywalker sits alone in a cave, hunted, exhausted, but not broken. Not yet. The rebellion is dying. On a hidden base in the Sullust system, rebel leaders gather for what might be their final council. Mon Mothma sits at the head of the table, exhausted. Admiral Akbar stands beside her, arms crossed. Leia Organa paces near the viewport, frustration etched on her face. "We've lost contact with 3 cells this month alone," Akbar reports grimly. "Vader's Inquisitors are hunting us down faster than we can regroup. We need to strike back," General Madine argues. "Hit an Imperial shipyard. Steal supplies. Show the galaxy we're still fighting." With what? Leia Isnapis. Half our fleet is scattered across the Outer Rim. We can barely keep our pilots fed, let alone launch a major offensive. Mon Mothma raises a hand, calling for calm. "We must remain united. If we fracture now, Vader wins. But unity is slipping away. Systems that once supported the rebellion are withdrawing. Bodhan's spies go silent. Smugglers refuse to run supplies. Even the Mon Calamari, once staunch allies, are reconsidering their commitment. The cost is too high, the risk too great. And without Luke, there is no hope. Leia feels it every day, the weight of his absence. She reaches out through the Force, trying to sense him, but there's nothing. No connection, no sign. For all she knows, her brother could be dead. Or worse, turned. "We need a Jedi," someone mutters. "We don't have one," Leia says sharply. "So we fight without one." But even she doesn't believe her own words. Meanwhile, on a barren moon called Atollon, Luke Skywalker sits cross-legged in a cave. His clothes are ragged. His face is gaunt. He hasn't eaten in days. He's been meditating, searching for answers in the Force. But the Force offers no comfort. Instead, Luke hears a voice. Dark, familiar. "You cannot defeat him alone, young Skywalker." Luke's eyes snap open. A shimmering figure stands before him. Blue, translucent, but unmistakable. Anakin Skywalker, not Vader. The man his father used to be. "Father," Luke whispers. The figure shakes his head. "No, I'm a memory. A warning. If you face Vader now, you will fall. Just as I did." Luke's fists clench. "Then what do I do?" The spirit's gaze is sad, heavy with regret. "You must decide whether to embrace the darkness to save the light, or let the galaxy burn to stay pure." The figure fades. Luke is alone again. And somewhere, across the stars, Vader senses a disturbance in the Force. His son is still out there. And he's coming. The Imperial fortress on Jun looms like a tomb. Luke Skywalker stands at its entrance, lightsaber ignited, green blade humming in the rain. He's thinner now, hardened by months on the run, but his resolve is unshaken. This ends today. Inside, Vader waits. The Dark Lord stands in the throne room, arms crossed, staring out into the storm. He felt Luke's arrival the moment he entered the system. He's been waiting for this. Luke steps into the chamber, water dripping from his cloak. Father and son face each other once more. "You should have stayed hidden," Vader says. "I can't," Luke replies. "Not while you destroy the galaxy." Vader ignites his lightsaber. The red blade casts harsh shadows across the room. "Then you will die." They charge. The duel is savage. Luke attacks with everything he's learned, every lesson from Yoda, every instinct from Obi-Wan. He's fast, aggressive, desperate. But Vader is a wall of power. Every strike Luke makes, Vader counters. Every feint, Vader anticipates. Vader's strength is overwhelming. He batters Luke's defenses, driving him back step by step. Luke's arms ache. His breath comes in gasps. He's outmatched. Vader strikes high. Luke blocks. Vader sweeps low. Luke leaps. But he's tiring. Vader is not. With a brutal force push, Vader slams Luke into the wall. Luke's lightsaber flies from his hand. He crumples to the floor, gasping. Vader stands over him, blade at Luke's throat. "You are strong," Vader says. "But strength alone is not enough. You lack focus, discipline, the willingness to do what must be done." Luke glares up at him, blood trickling from his lip. "I'll never be like you." Vader tilts his head. "You already are. You came here to kill me. That is the dark side, Luke. Anger, hatred, revenge." Luke's breath catches. Because Vader is right. Vader lowers his blade slightly. "Join me. Together, we can bring order to the galaxy. Peace. No more suffering. No more war. Only strength." Luke's mind races. He thinks of Leia, of the rebellion, of everyone counting on him. But he also thinks of the galaxy burning under Vader's rule. And he realizes he has no choice. "If I join you," Luke says slowly, "you have to promise me one thing." Vader's breathing fills the silence. No more massacres. No more orbital bombardments. Rule through strength, yes, but not through terror. Vader considers this. Then he extends his hand. "Agreed." Luke stares at the outstretched hand. And, slowly, he takes it. Luke Skywalker stands beside Darth Vader on the bridge of a Star Destroyer. He wears black robes now. A lightsaber hangs at his side. His eyes are colder than they used to be. Months have passed since he took Vader's hand. Months of training, of missions, of enforcing Vader's will across the galaxy. Luke tells himself it's all part of the plan, that he's waiting for the right moment to strike. But the truth is harder to face. He's changing. The dark side is easier than he thought. Faster, more powerful. When he uses it, he feels invincible. And Vader is always there, guiding him, teaching him, showing him what true strength looks like. "You are learning quickly," Vader says, watching as Luke uses the Force to interrogate a captured rebel agent. The man gasps, clutching his head as Luke extracts the information. Luke releases him, and the agent collapses. Luke doesn't flinch. "Good," Vader says. "You are becoming what you were always meant to be." Luke doesn't respond. He doesn't trust his own voice anymore. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, Leia Organa prepares for one final gamble. The rebellion is broken, scattered, but she's gathered every ship, every pilot, every soldier willing to fight. They're going to strike Coruscant. It's a suicide mission. Everyone knows it, but Leia refuses to give up. "If we don't fight now," she tells her commanders, "there won't be a galaxy left to save." The fleet jumps to hyperspace. On Coruscant, Vader senses the attack immediately. He turns to Luke. "Your sister comes to die," Vader says. "Will you stand with me? Or with her?" Luke's heart pounds. This is it, the moment he's been waiting for. But when he reaches for the light, he can barely find it. The fleet drops out of hyperspace. The battle begins. Explosions light up the sky. Rebel fighters swarm Imperial defenses. Leia's voice crackles over the comms, rallying her troops. Vader and Luke stand together, watching the chaos. "Choose, my son," Vader says quietly. Luke closes his eyes, and when he opens them, he ignites his lightsaber. But this time, the blade is red. No. Luke stares at the crimson glow in horror. This isn't his saber. This is Vader's hand rests on his shoulder. You see now, the dark side is your destiny. But deep within Luke, something stirs. A flicker of light, a memory of who he used to be. And in that moment, Vader feels it too. The conflict within his son, and for the first time in years. Vader hesitates. The sky above Coruscant burns. Rebel ships tear through Imperial blockades. Explosions ripple across Star Destroyers. TIE fighters swarm like insects. Leia's voice echoes across every Rebel frequency. This is our last stand. Fight for every world Vader has destroyed. Fight for everyone we've lost. Fight! On the Imperial Palace landing platform, Luke and Vader stand side by side. The red lightsaber still glows in Luke's hand, but his grip is shaking. I can't do this, Luke whispers. You already have, Vader replies. Luke looks at him, pain flooding his eyes. You turn me into you. Vader's breathing is heavy, mechanical. I gave you strength, purpose, everything the Jedi denied you. No, Luke's voice breaks. You gave me darkness, and I almost lost myself in it. Above them, a Rebel cruiser breaks through the atmosphere. It's the home one, Leia's ship. Vader's hand moves toward his lightsaber. She will die unless you stop her. Luke's heart pounds. He looks at the sky, at his sister's ship, at the rebellion sacrificing everything for one final chance. And then he looks at his father. You can still stop this, Luke says. You can still choose the light. Vader doesn't move. I am too far gone. No. Luke deactivates his red blade and drops it to the ground. I don't believe that. I never did. For a long moment, Vader stands frozen. Then, slowly, he looks up at the battle, at the rebels dying, at the Empire crushing them, at the galaxy he's ruled through fear. And for the first time in decades, Anakin Skywalker remembers what it felt like to care. He turns to Luke. What would you have me do? Luke steps forward, tears in his eyes. End this. Call off the fleet. Let the rebellion go. Let the galaxy heal. Vader's breathing is the only sound. Then he raises his comlink. All Imperial forces stand down. Silence. This is Lord Vader. Ceasefire. Allow the rebel fleet to withdraw. Across the battlefield, Star Destroyers hesitate. Commanders question the order. But no one dares disobey. Slowly, the firing stops. Leia's voice crackles over the comms. Luke? Luke, is that you? Luke closes his eyes, relief washing over him. I'm here, Leia. On the platform, Vader removes his helmet. Anakin Skywalker looks at his son, his scarred face exposed to the light. I cannot undo what I have done, he says quietly. But perhaps I can stop doing it. Luke nods, tears streaming down his face. And for the first time in this dark timeline, there is hope. The galaxy will never be the same. The Empire still stands. The rebellion still fights. But the man who was Darth Vader has finally chosen the light. And in that choice, the future is reborn.